Hello, beautiful friends. Today we are going to talk about going vegan. I'm going to give you my 6 tips for going vegan. This is another special request video. I love doing these, so please keep them coming. And this is from someone who says that she and her daughter want to go vegan, but they don't know where to start. If we haven't met yet or it's been a while, let me introduce myself. Hello again, friends. I'm StephanieBandosik. I'm a Reiki healer, an urban homesteader, an energy alchemist, a storyteller, a lover of all things natural and holistic wellness. And I am in beautiful upstate New York in the traditional Ganyagahaga Mohawk Nation territory land. It was a gorgeous, sunny, and warm day today. And if you are tuning in live or on the replay, I would love to know, where are you coming from? What is it like in your neck of the woods today? So first of all, let's talk about what is a vegan. A vegan is someone who doesn't eat any animal products. So usually vegetarians don't eat meat, but they usually eat dairy and eggs and wear leather. Vegans don't eat animal products, generally speaking. And again, there are some nuances or contradictions, or I should say different streams of thought on some of these. So a lot of vegans don't eat honey. Some vegans do eat honey. A lot of vegans avoid leather altogether. Some vegans will use leather if it's secondhand, for example, because you're using something that's already in existence. So there are a lot of nuances and everybody is a little bit different, but generally speaking, I'll give you some generalities and then of course my particular story. So I was a vegetarian. I ate dairy and eggs for decades, and then I decided to go vegan. I stopped eating dairy and eggs. I didn't intend to give up honey, but after a while it just felt right for me to give up honey. And I did recently start eating honey again from the hives that I tend. So I definitely see how you can treat bees well as a beekeeper and treat bees not so well as a commercial beekeeper. So I don't generally eat things with honey in it that is at the store, but I do eat honey from the hives that I help to tend. So I am someone who definitely was addicted to cheese. Like I was a dairy addict, and it was particularly cheese for me. When I was a vegetarian, almost every meal was, what am I going to eat with cheese? And that was actually my big holdout. If I had, had options for cheese, I think I would have gone vegan a lot sooner. And when I went vegan, I actually made a big celebration ceremony kind of a thing out of it. I chose to do it on New Year's. So on New Year's Eve, the church that I attend has a special ceremony called a burning bowl ceremony. We write down all of the stuff from the last year that we want to get rid of, and we burn it. And I ate my last vegetarian meal before that burning bowl ceremony that year. I really filled up on everything I knew I wasn't going to be able to have. I think pizza and donuts were my top 2. And then I went to that burning bowl ceremony on New Year's Eve, and I didn't eat dairy or eggs again. So that's how I did it. I wanted to have kind of a ceremony with it. I wanted to make it a special day. Of course, there's lots of great times and days for new starts, fresh starts. Like every new moon is a wonderful day for a fresh start. But there's something about that New Year's Day where, so many people around the world are working together to have fresh energy that just really spoke to me. So that's what I chose to do. So here are my 6 tips as someone who's been vegan for about 5 years. And again, didn't take that into practice lightly because it was many, many years in the making. I had wanted to be vegan for a long time and thought I could never give up cheese. So if you're in that boat, I totally understand where you're coming from. So my first tip is list out and keep this a continuous running list of all the vegan foods you already love or you discover you love. Now, I know you're going to say to me, Stephanie, I've never had vegan food. I'm not vegan. And I'm going to tell you that everybody has had vegan food. Everybody has had either pasta with marinara sauce or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a fruit salad. All of those things are vegan. So start by keeping a list whenever you find a fruit or a vegetable, or maybe it's a nut or a berry or anything that you find that you love, either a single ingredient or a particular dish. Go ahead and write that down. Write down, whatever. I love grapes. I love apricots. I love strawberries. Whatever it is, write down the foods that you love. And as you discover new foods that you love, keep a running list so that you can continually go back to it. When you get bored or you feel stuck, you can refer back to your list of vegan foods that you love, and you can enjoy watching them grow as you try new things. So tip number 1, keep that running list of vegan foods you love. Tip number 2, remember your why. Now, this is so important in anything we do, right? What we do from the heart has a lot of energy behind it. What we do from the head with like ego and willpower, not so much. So remembering that why that really lights you up is so important. For going vegan, traditionally there are usually 3 reasons, and for a lot of people it's a combination of the 3. It's environmental rights, you want to protect the earth. It's animal rights, you want to protect animals, and it's health, so personal health. And of course you get the benefits of all 3 when you choose a vegan lifestyle. But which one really is the call for you? So for me, my number 1 is animals. My number 2 is the environment as a whole. And any benefit to me is an added bonus. So remembering my why. And I'm going to honestly tell you, there was only one time, and I can think of literally one time when I was at an event right after I became vegan where they were serving cheese pizza. And I looked over at it and I was like, oh, I bet that would taste good. And it was not even a terrible craving. It didn't happen like, it wasn't like it lasted the entire length of the hour meeting. That was the worst of it. So just like most things, the anticipation was way worse. Like the agonizing over what it was going to be like to miss out was way worse than the actual missing out. So remembering my why. So as soon as I looked at that pizza and went, ooh, that would look really good, I imagined a mommy cow and a baby cow, and the baby cow and mommy cow being separated so that I could eat that cheese pizza. And I imagined the videos that I had watched. I imagined those in my mind's eye and seeing like the mommy cow cry for the baby and the baby cow cry for the mommy. And so going back to my why really made it easy to resist. It really wasn't that hard. So remember your why and keep remembering the details of your why. Watch videos, watch documentary movies, look up statistics, and really keep going back to what is your why. Number 3, adopt a new identity. So if you really think of yourself as a vegan, there are just some things that someone who is a vegan does, and there are things that they don't do. And it's like that with any identity, right? If you consider yourself an athlete, if you consider yourself a homesteader, if you consider yourself any title that we give, it comes with certain things that there are expectations that go with that role. So your identity as a vegan, or your identity as someone who protects animals, your identity as someone who protects the earth, go back to that, who am I? And again, that's strongly connected to your why. So who am I? That's your new identity, and what fits in with that role and what just doesn't, right? So like you just want to keep within those guidelines. So tip number 4, divide your time. So within that new identity, while you're trying on that new role, divide your time between the old identity and the new you that you're creating. So this can look like a lot of different things, right? You've heard of Meatless Monday, probably. So you could make it, Vegan Mondays, where one day a week I am vegan. It's Vegan Mondays, and I am a vegan on Vegan Mondays. So you have Mondays where you eat vegan only. Some people do it, I think it's vegan before 5, they call it. So you're vegan for your breakfast and your lunch and all of your snacks. And I think this is especially a good one if you have a family that doesn't want to go vegan and you're eating with them. Then, your dinner time, you're going to eat a traditional meal that you've been eating with your family forever. So it could be something like, again, Vegan Mondays for Meatless Mondays, could be vegan before 5. It could just start with 1 meal a week or 1 meal a day. You have to decide what fits in your budget, both your financial budget, your time budget, your emotional budget. You know what's going on in your life. Anything you do is better than nothing. Of course, more is better, but anything is better than nothing. So divide your time so that it's not negotiable. You don't have to make the decision. I don't know if you're familiar with decision fatigue, but decision fatigue is a real thing. We actually get tired. Our brain gets tired of making decisions. And eventually we start making poor decisions because we're just tired of making them. That's one of the reasons why you've probably heard sometimes uber successful people say they've adopted a uniform, right? They only wear a black t-shirt and jeans, or they only wear khaki pants and a white shirt, so that they don't have to make that decision of what am I going to wear every day. So avoid decision fatigue by just avoid that decision fatigue by just deciding that schedule, right? Divide your time. Number 5 is a tough one. This one is not going to be easy. That's why I led with some more fun ones. This one is to conduct a culture jam session. And it's something you might have to do on a regular basis as you go through your vegan journey. And it's really uncomfortable. Your cognitive dissonance is really going to kick in. Because we've just been ingrained, if you were brought up in America, that, for example, some animals are for loving, like cats and dogs, and some animals are for eating, like chickens and cows. But why? Because it really is arbitrary. I mean, pigs can be as smart or smarter than dogs, and dogs can be the cognitive age of a 2 or 3-year-old child. Pigs can learn their names. They can learn vocabulary words. I mean, they're very smart and clean animals. And it's really just culture that indoctrinates us to believe that some animals are worth saving and some animals are not. Once you become vegan, one of the craziest things you'll see that really is going to mess with your mind, at least it does mine, is when you go to an animal event, like an event for saving dogs or cats, like benefits and animal rescue, and they have a barbecue. So you're literally selling one animal, a cow, a pig, a chicken, to save a dog or a cat. And when you start thinking about it that way, speciesism is the word that they use, where we put species on a hierarchy and we decide that humans are separate and above. And then we put species in different categories. But when you really think about why that is, another place where that comes up is with dairy, with milk, right? So if you love dairy, like I said, like me, you have a cheese thing, or ice cream or whatever yours is, and you don't have a problem eating cow's milk, but if it would gross you out to eat dog's milk, or it would gross you out to eat human breast milk, like that's your own species, right? And I think it grosses us out as humans because we think of that's a mother. But cows don't give milk. Mother cows give milk to feed their baby cows. So when you conduct these culture jam sessions and you start breaking down, why do I think it's okay to eat one species while I'm saving another? Why do I think it's okay to drink the breast milk of one species, but I'm grossed out by drinking the breast milk of another species? It's not comfortable, it's not fun, it's not easy, but it will definitely help you change your mind about what you eat if you really want to eliminate those animal products from your diet. And then number 6, we'll go back to a more fun one. This is try new foods. Whether it's individual foods, like maybe you've never tried a persimmon, and so you go to the Asian market and you buy some persimmon. Or maybe you go to the farmer's market and you particularly look for a vegetable or a fruit that you haven't eaten before, or an herb that you haven't cooked with before, and you ask the farmers how to use it in a dish. So try new foods. Bonus points here if you're cooking from scratch at home. It's so important for our health to be cooking from scratch and to be having control over what we put in our dishes. It's also important from a long-term food sustainability and food sovereignty standpoint, right? We need to have control over our own diet, over our own food. So what we grow, we can use, or what we can get locally from local farmers and farmer friends and other homesteader friends that we can barter and trade with. So bonus points for trying new foods that you actually cook from scratch, that you find recipes and you try yourself, and or support local restaurants. So, rather than going to McDonald's or Burger King and getting whatever they have that's vegan on their menu, go to a small local independent restaurant. Double extra bonus points if it's a fully vegan restaurant. I'm really blessed to have a handful of vegan only restaurants in my area. One very close to me, one not so close, but certainly in driving distance, at least definitely in lower gas prices, very doable. So if you're supporting a fully vegan restaurant, that's even better. But if you're supporting any small, local, independent restaurant that sells vegan food, that has vegan dishes, I know that over the years in my area, we've also seen a big increase in the ice cream stands in the summer that have vegan options. So I always try to support them because, of course, it's supply and demand, right? We're in a capitalist society. So whatever we support, there's going to be more of on the menu. So eating vegan is a wonderful way. Trying new vegan foods is a wonderful way to have more fun with it. And again, remember back to number 1, when you try something new and you love it, you want to add it to that list so that you're keeping your ideas fresh of what you can eat. You can rotate it when you get bored. Also, you're going to find yourself rotating it seasonally, especially if you're trying to eat locally, eat from your own garden, eat seasonally. You're going to notice that list is changing seasonally because you're not going to be able to get strawberries for vegan strawberry shortcake all throughout the year, for example. Maybe in the fall, you're going to really enjoy vegan apple dishes that you're not going to enjoy the other times of the year. So going back to number 1, whenever you try a new food, keep it on that list. So I love special request videos. Please let me know if you're struggling with anything that I might be able to help you with, because I really want to help you to reduce your stress and increase your energy with self-care and community care. It's so important that we go back to having a more sustainable lifestyle. So if you have any special requests, I would love to know. I definitely want to help you out. Of course, if you're having any successes that you want me to celebrate with you, I am there to hug you and pat you on the back and clap for you and celebrate you as well. So let me know that too, because again, we have to work in community. That is so, so, so important that we share our gifts with one another. So again, I am so grateful that you've spent some time with me today. If you found any of these tips useful, I'd be so grateful if you liked this video, if you let me know, if you shared it with a friend who you think might find it helpful or useful too. That would mean the world to me. I am sending you love, light, peace, blessings, joy, and so much gratitude. Please take time to take care of yourself, and please take care of each other.